Well, hello, this is Jason T. Ingram with another episode of my career and video log about living with mental illness, trying to get a full time career and doing the stuff I love to do. I haven't had a music career since I was a teacher, and that was well over 10 years ago. Tried to get back into that, but music schools don't want to hire anybody that has a 10-year gap in their resume. Before that, it was factory work, and when they find out that I was in a residential program for sex addicts, they probably put me in that category like the Fundies did when I was coming out as a gay man and decided that needed to change. And so those kind of things really fuck up your career sometimes. I'm sure there's a music school that would hire me if they'd really give me a chance. I did get through a couple of interviews, but I was nonstop talking. I was sweating and my hands were cold. I was shaking. I was a nervous fucking wreck. It was really a disaster. But at least I got that far to get an interview. And it also proved to me that I probably shouldn't be doing that. And it was good to kind of let that go. And it was hard because I do miss that kind of career. I do miss being able to impart so much of my knowledge to people and have it affect their lives and have them become musicians or better musicians and see them grow and start to perform and write music. And I mean, it was very fulfilling. And everywhere I go, I'm always trying to teach music. And so teaching music made me into a good guy, and now it's made me into a bad guy. So it's very frustrating having this background and working with people that are so far from the standards that I have for myself and the people that I hire. It's very frustrating. So, anyways, I just wanted to check in again with one of these video logs. And it's almost 2 in the morning, and I'm just hyper as ever. I got to reconnect with a couple people from my past, and I got to meet some new people. In fact, in the last month or so, I've met like 4 videographers, and one of my problems is that I get a list of people and I just feel like, when people are interested in what I'm doing, that they're actually going to follow through with it. So I keep asking them again and I just don't get any response from them. And if I do, sometimes they just pacify me. I had about 10 names 2 years ago when I was starting my band, and none of them have continued. In fact, I don't think any of those people actually talked to me on the phone about it. I was just messaging them back and forth on Facebook Messenger and things like that, and maybe there'd be a phone call. But every time I talked to these guys in person, they would treat me like they were interested in what I was doing and they had every intention to follow through with all this stuff. And so I don't really put much weight into that anymore. Now, some places around the world, you can really take people at their word like that. Unfortunately, here it's just not that kind of culture. And it's been so hard for me to realize that and to work around that and to not get so hurt and upset about it because I consider that lying based on my standards. But then again, they consider me very rude because of the standards that I have and the types of backwoods hillbilly manners that I tend to have because of where I've spent most of my adult life. Although it's funny having grown up out here. And it was really funny, though, being able to watch a movie where I was actually in it. I'm serious. This was a movie about an underage nightclub that I was a part of when I was in my late teens, and they were showing footage from 25 years ago, and it was really encouraging. And I got to see myself as a teenager. I think that's the only video footage ever that exists of me that I know of. 1 second on the big screen, and here I am, 150 pounds and 6'2", and my hair was everywhere, and I was wearing these round glasses and I was clean shaven, and I was wearing these suspenders and these baggy pants, and you could see, oh, it was so funny. So that was really encouraging, and it just really made me realize that I was no way ready to do then what I'm doing now. I wouldn't have lasted a few days doing this stuff. I just was not ready. I didn't have the resources ever, the strength, the maturity, the tools. I mean, nothing. And the technology. Oh my God. I could never do what I'm doing today if I didn't have. Yeah, so because I didn't have that technology. And what I mean is nonlinear editing and this mass communication that we have. is amazing. You can organize a dozen projects in one sitting, and you can communicate with tons of people just by sitting there and messaging a whole bunch of them, or one or two, or being on a platform like on my band. I've got a Facebook private group, and I've got over a dozen of us on there that are musicians and guests and artists and helpers, and I get to tell them all my ideas and get feedback, and I say, hey, what do you think of these graphics? And if I'm unsure about them, the members of my team say, no, that just doesn't work. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, it doesn't work. I'm glad I had that kind of feedback. And so it's really awesome to just be starting to build community. And when I go out to meet people, I have such a tendency to just expect rejection that I tend to put off that vibe. And I'm trying not to do that. I started doing a lot of that tonight, and I thought, you know what? I'm got some really cool things that I'm doing, and I'm proud of them. And I want to act that way. And I don't want to try to steal attention from other people and feel like I have to get attention that way. I just gotta wait till it to come for it to come to me, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't. And it's hard because I really want to share what I have, and I have a tendency to just come up to strangers sometimes, and they just don't know what to do because they're just not used to that type of assertiveness. And in some ways it's working, and in some ways it's not. And in some ways I kind of set myself up for rejection. But it's also helped me too, and it's really helped challenge me to get out of my shell and really face a lot of these fears I've been dealing with. So it's been awesome, though. It's been really great. And this recording project that I finished, that's a whole nother story in itself. It's been different than any other recording project I've ever done in my life. There were some aspects of this that were very magical and very, very intense. And the kind of interactions I'm having with this are really, really something. And so I feel like for one of the first times in my life that people actually want to hear my music. And so it's wonderful that I'm meeting all these folks that are into visual stuff and animation and editing. And then I was doing some networking about, oh my gosh, getting consultations from people that are in marketing and legal stuff. And so right now I'm just sort of getting over this. Okay, I obsessed about this recording project last week. I mean, I just ate and breathed and lived this project, and I did not really focus on getting over. Now I got even more business cards and things that I need to attend to. And the longer I do this, the more I think, oh my God, these people are even, they're going to forget who I am. You know, I don't want to say, hey, I met you a month ago. And I have a tendency to do that. I get really nervous when I get a business card. And I think, what if this person doesn't write me back? Because a lot of times they don't. And there could be a lot of different reasons behind that, and I don't know what those reasons are, but it scares me. It really scares me that I could face another continual amount of rejection. And silence is one of the worst forms of rejection because, you know, at least when somebody tells me no, at least I know that they told me no. And sometimes they even tell me why, and I either agree with it or I don't. But here's the thing, if I know that, and if it's true what they were saying, that maybe I came off too strong, or for whatever reason, or they're not interested in what I'm doing, and they just don't understand what I'm doing, so I try to offer a rebuttal, and often that doesn't work. I mean, sometimes it does, but I have some really shitty content out on the web, and some of that stuff has been up there for a decade. And I don't know what people see when they are interested into seeing if what I'm doing is legitimate or marketable or not. I don't know what people are seeing all the time, so I would love to be able to clean up that and maybe find some kind of online platform or a survey monkey to do some kind of focus group stuff. But I don't think I'm strong enough to get that kind of feedback from strangers unless I hire a third party to do a focus group with my stuff. And that scares me too. And I don't know if I want to pay thousands of dollars for that, but I should probably look into that as well. So anyways, this is me being manic at 2 in the morning. And it's just part of being who I am, and I'm trying to be okay with that. It's frustrating because I would really like to be sleeping right now, but it's been a really intense week, and this week is whizzing by very quickly, and I'm getting some stuff done, and I'm just really glad the way things are going, although it hasn't been easy.